Hello everyone, I'm Michael Alexander and I'm here to talk to you today about the Incraria Shawl. It is coming out the 18th of February and it is a semicircular top-down two-color brioche shawl, and I'll take it off the mannequin in a minute to show you the whole thing. But before I do, I want to talk to you about the materials you'll need to make it and the different techniques you'll need to know. To make the Incraria Shawl, you will need two 420 yard skeins of yarn. If you only have 400 yard skeins, but you really want to use them, you run the risk of running out of yarn for your I-cord bind-off. If you're set on using that yarn, you could consider dropping out a few rows of your border to have enough yarn for your bind-off, or you could consider throwing in a third color, something to just make your yarn reach that last bit for the I-cord bind-off. This is a two-color I-cord, and for the whole shawl, it uses about 30 yards of each color for the two-color I-cord. The reason it takes so much is because it's a little bit stretchier than your average I-cord. I've got two swatches here. Here is one with a regular I-cord where you take one stitch from the shawl for each pass on your I-cord, but the bind-off on this shawl is the one on this swatch, and for every stitch you take from the shawl, you do two passes on your I-cord. So one pass on your I-cord, one pass on your I-cord and the shawl, one pass on just the I-cord, one pass on the I-cord and the shawl. And that will give you quite a bit more stretch to your I-cord, but it does take a lot of yarn, so watch out for that. Besides your yarn, you will need a pair of US number 4 knitting needles. By the end of the shawl, you will need 40 inches of cable length. If you don't like a lot of slack at the beginning, you can use a shorter one, but keep in mind you'll need to move up to a longer one as you get more and more stitches on your needle. You will need a darning needle and some thread snippers for weaving in your ends, and also blocking materials. If you feel more comfortable placing stitch markers in between your pattern repeats, definitely grab some stitch markers. So let's talk about the techniques that you'll need to know to knit this shawl. It is a two-color brioche shawl, knit from the top down, and so you will need to be familiar with the two-color brioche fabric and how to knit it. This will include the basic brioche fabric as well as some increases and decreases. There are two kinds of increases in this shawl and three kinds of decreases. The increases, and keep in mind we're top down, so we're moving this way. The increases are a 4-stitch increase, which is known as a brioche 4-stitch increase, and a Burke yarn over Burke, which is our 2-stitch increase. For our decreases, we have a left slanting and a right slanting brioche decrease, as well as a brioche 4-stitch decrease, which doesn't slant either way, it's centered on itself. As well as the brioche techniques, you'll also need to know how to knit an I-cord bind-off. And for our cast-on, this shawl uses a two-color Italian cast-on. And while we're on the subject of the cast-on, I want to point out that often for brioche projects, you will put in a tubular knitting row right after your cast-on. And this will add a really good, stable, firm edge to if you have something exposed like on a scarf, wherever your cast-on edge is going to be handled and exposed. It'll give some stability. For this shawl, we are not going to use a tubular setup row because when you have this more flexible cast-on edge, you are able to take your dark colored yarn and cinch the work on itself like a drawstring. You can see why you wouldn't want this to happen to your scarf if you got it caught on something. But for this shawl, we're going to take those beginning cast-on stitches, use that drawstring technique, and cinch them so you have a clean line between the edges of your shawl, the point of the cast-on, and the other edge. If you haven't done some of these techniques before, or if you're feeling rusty on them, don't worry, we'll go over them in the knit-along videos. And on that note, let's move right along into the knit-along. So the knit-along will be starting February 18th, the release date of this shawl. Here we have the full shawl open. So it's a full-size shawl, about 74 inches wingspan, double-sided since it's two-color brioche. It can be worn over the shoulder. I like to wear it as a scarf. However you like to wear your brioche pieces, your semicircular shawls, it's a great versatile piece. So for the knit-along, I'm going to be using two skeins of yarn from Stitch Together Studio here in Iowa. It is in Marion. You can check out her shop at stitchtogetherstudio.com. She's got some great stuff. She's a wonderful dyer. I will be using one skein of Wizard's Robes and one skein of Smelly Jellies. Congratulations to my giveaway winners. I have two really cool kits that I'm giving out, that I have given out for the knit-along and for the pattern release. So congratulations to KHB Biazionia. I'm sorry if I butchered the name. We have one skein of Woozy Droozy and one skein of We Know Forever. These are all from Stitch Together Studio. I had a fun shopping spree. And for the grand prize, congratulations to Bubonic Plague. We've got Nuclear Goldfish, and again, Wizard's Robes, and this super cool matching project bag from Boxy Bag, made by Key Lime Pie in Fairfax, Iowa. Thank you, Key Lime Pie. And who doesn't love a matching project bag for their knitting project, especially with little cute cats on it. Also, congratulations to my free pattern winners, Tefky Knits, Mommy Kellen, and She Knits Things. This was an Instagram giveaway. If you missed out on this one, don't worry. I'm going to do another giveaway for when the knit-along wraps up, as well as giveaways for future patterns. You can find me on Instagram, mikey.alexander.27. I'm also on Ravelry under NachoDeGarvo. I will have a similar name to the Instagram one once the pattern gets released on Ravelry. And I think that's it. That's all you need to know about knitting the Incraria Shawl. Thank you for watching. Please comment below if you have any questions or comments, or you can reach me on Instagram on Ravelry. Thank you for watching. Happy knitting.